Okay, so that looks better. Don't know what was happening before, but hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Welcome to the Sunday Trackalicious Fall GT3 Team Championship. We've already started qualifying. Just a couple minutes in. Some hiccups on my end as yeah, hopefully we have them all sorted. It looking better already than the first like 5 times I have tried. Okay, so I am your host, Reid Aldred, Mr. Shy Guy 98, filling in for Mike Mouse tonight. He's unfortunately was unable to make it, so I will be with you to bring your action here at Indianapolis, your doubleheader, of course. Oh no, it's... Oh no. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Let's see if I can figure something out. Okay, it's looking... It's... Maybe. So... What do we have? Stay. Mr. Mike Burkoff, thanks for the Prime Gaming sub. Okay, I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so it looks like we are running somewhat smoothly again. Hopefully it stays this way. hopefully it stays. But how is everybody doing tonight? We got Vulcan, we got Washed Up Squid, Little Shoots, Beach GT, and of course Mike Burkhoff, who just subbed. Here on a Sunday night with our... Wow, I'm drawing a blank. With our GT3 Sunday season. We have a couple drivers. We have the split 2 drivers out at the moment. We have, I believe it's Kenneth Smith, or is it Kenny Smith? It's Kenneth. He's on the top of the charts right now with 136.830. As between 1st and 17th right now, there's a 5.2 second gap. And there is a total of 31 drivers going to be on track with us tonight. I appreciate the kind words, Vulcan. Also, great race at in the Pint Series at Kailami. Nice win. As for those of you who don't know, the New World Sim Racing Pint Series just finished a little while ago. I believe it was a 60-minute race over at Kailami, and Vulcan squeezed out an undercut and won the race during his pit stop. Or I guess after his pit stop when the leader pitted. Pulled the undercut and won the race. And he also did... Was it Rip, the Rip guys in the Porsche Cup? I don't really know what that is. Which sim racing organization or group that is. Chrono has the best livery, indeed. As we'll hop on board with the 95 of Kevin Yu. Nope. Or not. Alright, or not. Oh no, we're there now. As he's starting for another flyer. Currently 3 seconds off a pace. So a lot of time to be made. But this will be the last lap to do it, as the drivers only have about 13 seconds to cross the line to get another lap going. Otherwise, that's their qualifying. And yeah, the split 1 drivers will be out. Will be coming out of the pits shortly as we see him starting to queue up. It's Ricky Scott in the race. I think he's usually in this series, but I don't see him on the grid right now. So I don't know if he's in this race or not. So we've got Patrick McNichol with the Scrubs Go Racing Porsche. Currently sitting P5, 8/10 down. Doesn't look like they're improving too much right now. With only a couple more turns to go in this lap. As he comes around the final corner, should be able to take this flat, and let's see if he's able to improve for a 137.532. And it doesn't look like he's able to improve, and that's gonna end his qualifying session as we have the 888 about to cross the line. That's Jacob Padberg. doesn't seem to be working out too well. Let's see if, I don't know. Oh yeah, there is Bruce Hopkins in the race as well, so we've got a Bruce Hopkins fan now. Alright, so we'll have a couple drivers coming across the line over in P1 here shortly, or Division 1 here shortly. As we have Marlowe taking the top of the charts with 136.285, followed by Brian Faluna just over 6 thousandths behind. You got Ricardo Rivera with a 1.5 tenths behind him. Jeremy Engelman in P5, about 5 tenths off of pole right now, and shoot, 7 tenths down. I'm Not Jimmy comes across the line P8. As we see this 37 Porsche with the Phantom Sim Racing 37 Porsche, we got Niall Schlieder about to cross the line, make his first flyer of the session. Let's see where he ends up. From P31, he is going to jump up to P10 with a 137.290. Currently just over a second off pace, but then Ollie Raza comes across the line with a 135.812, taking that pole away. But then Brian Faluna says, no thank you, and he instantly takes that back with a 35.595, and then Marlowe comes across the line just behind Faluna, pushing Raza down to P3 just like that. About to cross the line again. Let's see what kind of lap he sets. P11 with a 37.057. Just over 3.5 minutes to go. I'm still trying to get this to work. It just doesn't seem to be working. See if Jacob Padberg, as he jumps up to P2, looks like that last lap. See if he can improve, as he has 2 more chances to do so. Hey, Whelpcakes, how are you doing tonight? How did the rest of the New World broadcast go? I heard you in the booth. See if Ollie Ross is able to improve, as he's going to have one more time to go around if he prefers. As it looks like we actually have Jacob Padberg jumping up to pole position. It's a 135.350. Marlowe just over, not even just over, exactly a 10th behind. This has been a very close qualifying. It's just been a one driver setting a pretty scorcher of a lap, and then another driver giving him a big old finger wag, if you will, and saying, "Nah, that's my position." As they jump to the top, as Brian Falloon is unable to improve, and best they're going to be doing is P3. Gage Gonzalez in P6, Andreas Montero in P11. It looks like Tyler Marlowe is going to back off his lap, and this might give the pole to Jacob Padberg as the 69 car, if I'm not Jimmy's about to cross the line. And he's going to cross the 136.662 up into P9. The 53 car of Ricardo Rivera is good enough to jump up to P4. The 85 of... Where is the 85? I'm not sure, but Jacob Padberg about to cross the line, currently setting pole as it stands, unless Ollie Ross has anything to say about it. As he comes around, and he is able to improve, but he's going to be starting P4, as we got Bronson Turner and Jeremy Engelman coming across the line, see if they can do anything about it. Max wait time, these laps are the final laps of the session. We'll see. It doesn't look like they're able to improve either of them, or at least not position-wise, as Jacob Padberg, for your first race tonight, takes pole position. I am doing well, Whelpcakes, thanks, and how are you doing? And thank you for gifting a sub to Retro Coffin. And it should be a great race, as we have 33 cars on the grid with us here tonight. Pole setter is Mr. Jacob Padberg in the 888 Honda. Alongside him you have Tyler Marlowe with the 3 Audi. The second row you got Brian Faluna and Ollie Raza. In the third row, we got a Honda Lockout with Ricardo Rivera and Gage Gonzalez in 5th and 6th, Chris McNichol in 7th, Jeremy Engelman in 8th, and I'm Not Jimmy in 9th. And alongside him, you've got TJ Washed in the 99 Porsche, your pole setter for Division 2. Behind him, you got Case Shute and Andreas Mostachero, Kenneth Smith and Niall Schleter in 13th, 14th, Aaron Kuhn 15th, Dalton Oxborough in 16th. You got Rocky Rocco and Patrick McNichol in 17th and 18th, George Elmer in 19th, Chris Rise in 20th, Bronson Turner in 21st, Jason Provolone in 22nd, Professor Chronotis in 23rd, Andy Oak in 24th, Steven Tomazic in 25th, Jarek Snyder 26th, Bruce Hopkins 27th, Daniel Versosa in 28th, Guy Smelly in 29th, Kevin Yu rounding at the top 30, and 31st, 32nd, and 33rd we got Sarah Stant with Kvetch Motorsports, Eric Ukasian, our fearless leader here at Trackalicious, and Gelson Cruz with Rockefeller Racing in the 777 Porsche. Oh no. Not like this. Not like this. What is going on? Technology, I'm telling you. Okay, as we're in starting their warm-up, or yeah, the formation lap. Why? Okay, we're moving. Be calm, just everyone be calm. It looks smooth again, just relax. There's just stay still. Don't move. Oh, this is this has been a blunder so far tonight. Hopefully it stays smooth. Here's hoping. Just relax. Don't move. Don't breathe. Don't make eye contact. I don't think so. I don't know what's been happening. It's just like, I don't know. Like, I can tab out and everything, but what had happened is it kills my bit, like something kills my bit rate, and then yeah, it starts skipping a ton of frames. Interesting. Alright, as it looks like the 777 car is going to be starting from the pit lane. Who is that? That is Gelson Cruz. We saw a couple penalties being dished out. Well, at least one penalty for Bruce Hopkins, just for earlier incidents in the season. As they start making their way 2 by 2 around the final turn of the lap and down the main straight backwards, of course. If you've never noticed that, you're driving down Indy the wrong way. as they're coming down the main straight as we speak. Just waiting for the green flag before we start our first race here tonight for our doubleheader. And we are green, as it looks like Jacob Padberg gets a good start, and Brian Faluna behind him. See the Mercedes of McNichol stick their nose out and get back into line. Well, Padberg stays out ahead, and it looks like Faluna going to try around the outside. And it looks like Faluna is actually going to take, or not Faluna, Marlowe is still going to sit P2 as we see a Honda go a little wide there, but Jacob Padberg, great start from him, holds in the lead, and there is a yellow flag for the 60 car. I believe that is Bruce Hopkins, but Jacob Padberg still holding on strong, but not out of the woods yet, as it looks like Brian Faluna has passed Marlowe in the early stages of this race. As we see the 777 car start moving out of the pit lane, but Faluna might be in trouble from the Audi of Marlowe behind. As it was a pretty clean start, just one incident it looked like, as, yeah, great start from Padberg. Building himself a little bit of a gap between himself and Faluna. As if you take a look back, oh, a big shunt between, is that Marlowe and Raza? Or was that, oh no, that was Raza. A huge smack between them, and that's going to send them to the back of the field. You hate to see it. So we just caught the end of that. But that is two front runners that you expect to see at the front of the grid, the front of the fields. They're going to have to make a long recovery drive, and they only have a half an hour to do it. So they might probably won't have enough time to catch up to one another, or catch up to at least the lead. Sorry. That is a great question, Vulcan. All eyes are on you, Mike. Why aren't you racing tonight? Why aren't you putting the smacketh down on these guys? As we have Padberg and Faluna starting to break away a little bit, as we have still some battling in the distance. We have Ricardo Rivera in third, sitting with a 1 second gap. We've got Engelman and Gage Gonzalez going at it, as there's a little bit more yellow in the back of the field. As we have a yellow flag for the 210 car as well, and a couple more yellows towards the back of the lap. And the 210 car is in the pits. Maybe a technical error. As it looks like Padberg is getting challenged from Faluna. But Faluna just doesn't have enough top end to make the move happen. As we've got Patrick McNichol under fire from Jason Provolone. The two Porsches going at each other over here in 15th and 16th. We've got Provolone under fire from Rocco behind. And it looks like Rocco might try to make a move here. He has his nose out. But he's under fire, and he's actually looking to get by on the outside of Provolone. He's going to have the inside in the next turn, though, and I think Rocco may have made the move, but he's not out of the woods yet as Provolone tries for the switchback. And it looks like Provolone's able to hold on to position, but Rocco's actually going to lose out to Turner, but take it back quickly. But Rocco still not giving this position easily to Provolone, as he wants it back, but Turner is lurking in the distance. Turner, of course, being a split one driver, he doesn't want any part of this. He wants past these drivers as quick as possible. Rocco has the inside line, and it's going to keep it clean, but still keeping Turner behind him. All right, Vulcan, talk to you in a bit. As we'll scroll it down the field a little bit, as Doesn't look like there's too much going on towards the back of the pack. We still got Rocco and Turner going at it for P17 and 18, as Provolone has built himself a little bit of a gap in the result of these two fighting. And you got Aaron Kuhn has himself a pretty hefty gap to Provolone behind. As it actually looks like the race leaders are about to run into some traffic here shortly, being only under 6 minutes into the race. Some earlier incidents. We'll see if they can navigate the traffic of Jarek Snyder and Cruz here shortly. So we see more yellow over in sector, I believe that's still sector 1. So now we got Dalton Oxborough trying to hunt down Kenneth Smith while also trying to defend from Patrick McNichol. As the 604 car yellow flagged on the back straight, and it looks like they're gonna try to get going again. I believe that was a 604 of Sarah Stant. As we have Jacob Padberg on the rear wing of Jarek Snyder, just wanting to get by. But Jarek Snyder is not making it the easiest. He's going to back off and he's going to let Padberg by. Now here's hoping if you're Faluna, you can get by him easily, and it looks like he does. And it looks like Faluna may have got himself a 10th off of Padberg there, but Padberg doing a great job as we had a 30-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. And you hate to say it, so who's the 30 car? That's Ollie Raza. An earlier incident with was it Faluna? Or no, it was Marlowe, sorry. It was Marlowe and Raza, and that definitely didn't do any good on their race, but that stop and go 30 is definitely going to ruin his race. Filthy hot lapper needs a shower. Hot dang. I mean, the difference between Vulcan and a hot lapper is he can actually race with other cars on track. As we see more yellow in Sector 2. Looks like they're back on track now as... Let's see, any close battles on track? Not necessarily. We got Ollie Raza trying to serve this penalty. The stop and go 30 just got, and yeah. So we'll scroll through. We got Rivera and Gonzalez pretty close, but they're separated by Marlowe. Marlowe currently sitting P30 with an earlier incident. Mom of Cap, how are you doing tonight? How was your weekend? I think I recognize your name from the New World group. And Paula Brady, it has been a pretty good race. There's been a little bit of drama between a couple drivers, especially some front runners that you wouldn't expect to see, as Rivera is trying to get by. It looks like he's able to get by, as there's more yellow in Sector 2. As it looks like Snyder and Marlowe are going at it for position. Looks like Marlowe's going to get a better exit, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough, as Jarek Snyder still holds on. Merlot sticking his nose out. Maybe make a move on the inside, and looks like he may have got a little tap from Gage Gonzalez behind, but it's hard to say. But Jarek Snyder's able to hold on to position for now as Merlot runs wide and Gage Gonzalez goes through. As we see Turner and Rocco still going at it, as they have been doing for the past 11 minutes so far. Essentially the entire race these two have been trying to get at each other. Well, it looks like Provolone actually falls a lap behind, as he was fighting alongside these as Turner gets by Rocco. Battle for P26 and 27 between Snyder and Merlot. Still going hard. Keeping it clean, but there's a little bit of damage on that Audi. We'll see if he can get the better exit. Or if the Merc can hold its ground going down the main straight. The Audi's getting real close. Might just have the run this time around. We'll see. Merlot late on the brakes, and it looks like he's able to get by Snyder. We'll see if Snyder has anything to come back at him with, but it doesn't look like it, as Merlot already half a second up, over half a second up. But not out of the woods yet, as they still have to deal with some traffic from these front runners, as I'm Not Jimmy gets in between Merlot and Snyder. It's gonna put an end to that battle for a little bit, as the lead between Jacob Padberg and Brian Faluna is just over a second apart from one another. As we have a big train of drivers, we got Provolone, Tomazic, Turner, Rocco, McNichol, Chronotis. Bunch of drivers, all within a short distance of each other, as 5 of them went through that chicane about half, or not chicane, but that turn at about 5/10. There's a lot of cars in this pack right here. Might have just tried for the undercuts, as you know, it is possible. As we have Andy Oak, P18 trying to hunt down Chronotis, but it looks like Tomazic might try to get by. So, not even halfway into the race, and ooh, yellow flag for the 22 of it looks like George Elmer. And he's just slow, letting a bunch of drivers back. Andy Yoke goes by. No, yeah, Andy Yoke goes by, and it looks like Tomazic and Elmer are going to go at it, but Tomazic's going to go by. Elmer not putting much of a defense up. As we got Ollie Raza, P31 getting past Andreas Mostachero, unlapping himself. Still lots of work needed to be done for Raza, but unfortunately there isn't going to be enough time. As we got a couple drivers already jumping into the pit stop. They're in the pits to make their pit stop. As we reach the halfway point in the race, there's a big pack of cars. You got Niall Schleter, you got Shoot, you got Rocco, Sappi, and Raza. So it looks like Riccardo Sapien is gonna let Raza go by. As we got Niall Schleter in front of Snyder, but Snyder being lapped, so they're not fighting for a position right now. But Schleter still needs to make his mandatory pit stop, as much do a lot of these drivers do. As it looks like it's Sector 1, the 633 car had a little bit of an incident and it's back on track now. As it looks like the 37 Porsche is going to hop into the pits, make their mandatory pit stop. Looks like TJ Washed is also going to be making their pit stop. As we got Chronotis and Oak within half a second of each other. Opts to stay out, but Andy Oak decides to pit. We'll see if the undercut pays off or if the overcut pays off. As it looks like it was a race out of pit lane between Eric Gukasian and Bruce Hopkins. And it looks like Eric Gukasian got the best of him. And he takes P25th, now 26th after coming out. Maybe even 27th, but it looks like it keeps it clean with Elmer. We got Tomazic and I believe that's Hopkins as well. So a four-way battle for P25 right now. After coming out of the pit stop, or yeah, after coming out of the pits. We got Ollie Raza still trying to make his way through traffic. So we got Jeremy Engelman currently leading the race, still needing to make his pit stop as he jumps into the pit now. And 37 of Niall Schleter gets a 30-second stop go for speeding in the pit lane. Oh no. As this four-way battle between Gukasian, Elmer, Tomazic, and Hopkins still going on, still going strong. And if they keep it up, oh, it looks like Elmer's going to have the inside run. We'll see if he's able to make the move happen. Sticks his nose in, they keep it clean, but it looks like Eric is able to hold on for now. Elmer is going to have to sit back and try again. Stick close enough and maybe get a better run. See if we can get a good run going down the main straight. Looks like there's a little bit of damage on that BMW of Eric Gukasi, and it looks like Elmer might try to make the move. He sticks his nose out, but he slots back in, just trying to force Eric into a mistake. But Eric not having any of it, not biting as a 647 car is off over at the end of Sector 1. The battle not over yet, as yeah, it looks like McNichol might also be joining the battle soon and making it a six-way battle for P24. As you can see, the six cars all within a couple seconds of each other. Is Elmer really putting the pressure on Eric? Let's see if Elmer can stick close enough, maybe get a little bit of a slipstream going down the main straight. Or if he can get a better exit and the help of slipstream going down this last turn. See if he can make the overturn happen in the T1. And it looks like he's gonna maybe try it this time around. As Elmer and Eric go side by side. Eric's gonna have the inside, but Elmer's gonna have the inside. And it looks like George Elmer is able to make the move happen, and Tomazic trying to follow through. He's gonna have the inside line. They keep it clean, but it looks like they still might be side by side. But it looks like Eric Gukasian is able to hold on for now, but ever so slightly, as it looks like Tomazic runs wide, and now it's Bruce Hopkins slide on through, and that pushes Tomazic down to P26. As this has been an exciting couple of laps for these four drivers, as the 820 gets a 30-second stop go for speeding in the pits. Apparently, it is a rough one for pit entry here at Indianapolis. The battle goes on a little bit of a halt as Elmer starts to build himself a little bit of a gap, but Bruce Hopkins behind Eric Gukasian. Doesn't look like he's going to be close enough coming down the main straight. Oh, and there is contact in the back between the 226 and I think that was the 633. Oh no. Wonder what happened there. As they were coming down the main straight, and yikes, you hate to see it. Definitely gonna have to go back, and the stewards definitely gonna have to go back and see what is wrong with what happened there. And Jet, I believe Engelman, is that? Yeah, I think that's Engelman. P27 currently. Let's look at this battle for P23 and 24. Eric holding on to P23 with Bruce close in tow. We'll see if he's able to hold on to it, or if Bruce has an answer. Let's see if there's any other battles on track at the moment. It's not really looking like it. Ooh, as the 95 car is yellow, we got Bruce Hopkins and Tomazic now. This will allow Eric to build himself a little bit of a gap. Maybe catch his breath for a couple laps time. As Tomazic starts getting real close. Within half a second now of Hopkins. Right now, Professor Kernotis leading the race, but he is yet to pit. So if you look after the pit stop, looks like he will be dropping, and Padberg will be taking P1 back. As it looks like Tomazic might have a little run on the inside of Hopkins. Not quite, but the slipstream might help him. Looks like he might try it. Doesn't quite have the run, and Hopkins is going to be able to hold on to his position for now. Chronotis trying to extend his stint as long as possible. Trying for the overcut. We got the Adventure Team BMW currently leading this race. Still needs to make a pit stop, but still leading. As looks like, is he going to dive into the pits? No, he's going to stay out. He's only got a couple more laps in this race, so he's going to have to pit soon, as Eric and Bruce still going at it, with Tomazic lurking in the distance. So with these two fighting, this will bring Tomazic back into the running for P22. As George Almer has built himself a huge gap, and it looks like Hopkins might try to make a move on the inside of turn 1. Gonna keep it clean, but he's gonna have the outside, now the inside. It looks like he's going to not get past Eric, but he's going to be under fire from Tomazic. But he's going to have the inside line. A little bit of a slide from a little bit of a twitch from Tomazic there, and he's able to catch it and not lose too much time. Oh, but he clips a little bit of the grass there. That's definitely going to slow him down a little bit. As Bruce and Tomazic still going at it. Let's see. Professor Chronotis still leading this race. Let's see if he decides to make his pit stop now. So he was the last driver to do so, and we'll see where he comes out, as it looks like Kevin Yu and Case Shoot going side by side down the main straight. We'll see who's able to come out ahead, and it looks like Shoot is going to be ahead, and he's going to make it stick, as Yu doesn't have much of an answer for him. As there's a yellow flag for the 82 car just up ahead, the end of sector 1 there. It's the 82 of Jason Provolone. See, battle for P12 and P13 starting to get close. Looks like between two teammates with the Stooch Racing McLaren duo, Bronson Turner and Aaron Kuhn. We got TJ Washed being hunted down by Tyler Merlot. As there goes the time limit, and there is the checker for, I believe that's Jacob Padberg. And it is Jacob Padberg P1, Brian Faluna P2. We're going to have Ricardo Rivera come across the line P3, Gage Gonzalez P4. I'm Not Jimmy, looks like he's going to come across the line P5. Chris McNichol in P6. TJ Wash looks like he's going to come out ahead of Tyler Marlowe for 7 and 8. Kenneth Smith in P9. Andreas Mossachero, he's going to come across the line in P10. That rounds out your top 10. And he crosses the line P10. Ricardo Sappi in 32nd. So we have the rest of the drivers coming across the line. We got the 85 of Jarek Snyder in 13th. The 19 of Andy Oak in 14th. The 15, or P15 for Professor Chronotis in the 42 BMW. Rocky Rocco P16 as we got for Sosa and Shoot 17 and 18th going at it. Final turn, it doesn't look like Shoot's going to get quite the run he needs, and it looks like for Sosa's going to come across the line P17 and Shoot 18. It looks like Bruce Hopkins, or Eric Gukasi in 22, Hopkins 23, and Tomazik 24. As he clips the wall, he keeps it straight, but he almost cost himself a position there at the end. And that was a very exciting first race. We still have one more race to go as we have our doubleheader here at Indy. We're going to have a 5-minute practice just for everyone to stretch their legs out, go grab some refreshments. Then we'll hop into another 20-minute qualifying session, or 21-minute qualifying session, 10 for each split. And then we will have a 45-minute race. As it looks like there's a car going to be taking the track. Is that... That's Jarek Snyder. 85 Mercedes. .604 of Sarah Stant. Brian Faluna's coming back out as well. 777 of Cruz is coming out. Couple drivers coming out for the free practice session. As we'll watch Jarek Snyder go around a couple times. As, yeah, we'll take a quick break and we will return here in a minute or two to hopefully kick off the next qualifying session, and fingers crossed it stays smooth. We will be back shortly, folks. So grab yourself a refreshment if needed. I know I need some something to drink after witnessing all that action. Talk to everybody in a few minutes. Alright everybody, welcome back. Looks like we're in max wait time, just waiting for a couple drivers to cross the line and we'll get our second qualifying session underway. While I do that, we'll open up Discord again as, yeah. Pacific NW Sim Sports, welcome. How are you doing tonight? So looks like the last driver will cross the line and we should be in qualifying right now. Alright, so we see some of the cars already quick out of the gate. Gelson Cruz first out of the gates wants to be the first one on the track to set their first qualifying lap. Now, they can't cross the line until the minute mark, just to give everyone a fair amount of time. They do an extra minute, just so nobody loses out. Else we got Cruz, Tomazic, Oak, Chronotis, McNichol, Kuhn, Sapien, Provolone, Smith, Hopkins, Washed, Gukasi, Morocco. Kevin, you a little bit late out of the box, but he's coming out. You got Guy Smelly, Sarah Stant. Bunch of these split two drivers, all of these split two drivers coming out if I'm not mistaken. But we're being led by Gelson Cruz. The Wet Sox. This is it's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I think it's what it's called, or yeah, but it is Indy, the road course. Gelson Cruz crossed the line. Going to be starting their first flyer of the session with Daniel Versosa. No, that's Tomazic, sorry. Close and so. It looks like there's about a 2-second gap. Looks like there's plenty of room between these two drivers. Definitely don't want to get caught up between each other. And you definitely don't want to catch the car ahead of you. Otherwise, you're going to have to abort your lap. And you don't want that. Depending on how big the grid is, how big the field is, it might be hard to get yourself a little bit of clean air, but this doesn't look to be the case right now, as it looks like there is plenty of space between Tomazic and Oak behind. Take a lot of this turn, but you obviously don't want to take too much to invalidate. And this fast right-hander, you can just go flat around it. Getting close to the fence, close to the wall. Don't want to take too much of that curb. then just flat around the final corner to set the bar for split 2 drivers. Let's see where they end up. Let's see where Gelson Cruz ends up with the Rockefeller Racing 777 Porsche, and they're going to cross the line with a 138.6, quickly dethroned by Steven Tomazic with a 137.950. The 19 car of Andy Yoke about to cross the line along with Professor Chronotis. Let's see where they come across. Andy Yoke up into P1 with a 137.947. Chronotis just under 5/10 between them. You got a couple more cars coming across the line. You got Aaron Kuhn and Patrick McNichol coming across the line, and Sapien coming across the line as well. Then Provolone coming across the line. Everyone just improving on each other's times. As we have the 99 car coming across the line now. TJ Washed up to P11. As we got Kevin Yu leaving the pits. Let's see, we have the 647 Rocky Rocco coming across the line, P4, Eric Kossi in P13. We have the 226 Honda of Guy Smelly in P14. We got Sarah Stant in P12. This looks like Aaron Kuhn may have had a little bit of a moment and he went off track. As we'll see if where the 463 of Daniel Versosa comes across the line. P9. And Steven Tomazic coming around the final turn now, hoping to improve down in P8 right now. See if he's able to improve and where he's going to jump up to, and that is unable to improve, and he's going to stick in P8. He's got a couple more chances. See if he can do any better as the 19 of Andy Yoke comes across the line and jumps up to P3 with a 137.355. The 42 car of Professor Chronotis coming across the line, 136.665 up into P7. Patrick McNichol with a 137.2. Ricardo Sappi with a 137.247 up in P4. Jason Provolone up in P1 and quickly sent down to P2 by Kenneth Smith with a 136.505. And Provolone got a 36.640. We have Aaron Kuhn. TJ Washed comes across the line, P1 with a 136.462. Rocky Rocco able to improve up into P7 with a 137.355. Eric Kakasian improving, unable to improve in position, but improving their time. Guys Smelly able to improve. No, they weren't. Kevin Yu about to start their first flyer of the session. As well as the 463 car is about to cross the line. Daniel Versosa up in P10 with a 137.875. We'll hop on board with Kevin Yu for now, and we'll see where he sets his first flyer, as it looks like George Elmer still has yet to leave the pit lane. So it looks like they might be starting towards the back of the fields this time around. That's Kevin Yu coming down the back straight towards this sharp left-hander. As he comes around the final breaking point of the lap, just one more turn to go. Flat out turn. From P27, let's see if he's able to improve, or he's obviously going to be able to improve, but let's see where he ends up. Up into P15 with a 38.480. So we have the 777 of Gelson Cruz about to cross the line. Let's see if they're able to improve down in P16th so far. They're going to jump up to P10 with the 37.415. 343 of Steven Tomazic. Currently P14. Are they able to improve? It's unable to improve. Professor Chronotis starting they're fine. No, I think they might have one more hot lap after this one. Andy Yoke coming across the line with a 37.180 up in P6. I think Ricardo Sapien's about to come across the line. Currently P5 with a 136.907. Is he able to improve? And he does with a 136.707. Unable to improve position-wise, but he's able to improve his time. As Jason Provolone's not able to improve his time. And Kenneth Smith able to improve with a 135.817. TJ Wash able to improve up into P2 with a 136.115. The 647 of Rocco coming across the line with a 36.840 up into P6 still. Eric Akassian invalidating their last lap, so this is their last flyer of the session. As we have Kevin Yu about to cross the line again with a 137.632, jumping up to P11 as we see Jacob Padberg, the first driver in split 1 to start queuing up as Aaron Kuhn comes across the line, starts their first flyer or final flyer of the session. Gelson Cruz up into P7 with a 136.885. We see Tyler Marlowe queuing up. We see Faluna queuing up. Rivera, Raza, Engelman. Couple of these split 1 drivers starting to queue up a little bit. As we got Ricardo Sapien coming around the final turn now. He's going to get another shot at it if you would ever so please. See if he's able to improve. And he is up into P3 with a 136.315 in the 82 car of Jason Provolone, the cheese man himself, with a 136.327, improving up into P4. The 99 of TJ Washed comes across the line. P2, Rocky Rocco, P6 right now. Let's see where they cross the line. Eric Akassian as Rocco comes across the line, P6. Eric Akassian, P14 to P11 with a 137.387. The 929 of Aaron Kuhn still needs to find any aborts, so he's going to be starting 5th at the greatest as we got Cruz coming around the final turns of the track as we speak. See if he's able to improve down in P7th. Doesn't look like it as they're going to cross the line. Bale is right before they cross the lines. We got Tomazic and Chronotis on track. The last 2 drivers on track for split 2. Currently sitting 15th and 13th. Tomazic's going to come across the line in P12. And Chronotis up into P12 and sends Tomazic down to 13th. Great couple of laps from them, as the first driver we got out is Jacob Padberg in the 888 Studio 2108 Racing Honda. Going to be the first split 1 driver to come across the line and start their first flyer. We see a big queue of drivers giving themselves plenty of space. Making sure they're going to leave enough room so they don't catch up to the driver ahead. Alright, Jacob Padberg gonna come across the line with a 135.452, and Brian Faluna coming across the line 2.5 tenths behind. Tyler Marlowe with a 136.122 in P6. You got Ricardo Rivera, P5 with a 35.855. Jeremy Engelman with a 36.475, currently in P10. We have Case Shoot with the 136.635 and P12, sorry. We got Jarek Snyder with the 137.567, P21. Ollie Raza is yet to set a lap. Gage Gonzalez up into P2, and a huge spin from Gage. It's definitely going to ruin their lap as they fly off the track. This is the Andreas Mostachero about to cross the line. Let's see where they end up. Their first flyer of the session. Up into P8 with a 36.155. And who is that behind them? That is the 69 of I'm Not Jimmy. Up into P13. So we see Tyler Marlowe about to come across the line here in just a couple seconds' time. See if they're able to improve from P7. Looks like they will to jump up to P1 with a 35, and then quickly dethroned by Brian Faluna with a 35.312. Ricardo Rivera up to P4. Jeremy Engelman P8 with a 135.957. You got Case Shoot jumping up to P6 with a 135.782. The 85 of Jarek Snyder into P23. Ollie Raza jumps up to P2 with a 135.330. As we see Niall Schleter coming across the line with a 136.852, jumping up to P18. Christopher McNichol up into P15 with a 136.575. You got Bronson Turner starting their first hot lap of the session. There's a yellow flag for the 23 car of Brian Faluna as they return to the pits. Maybe try to have another quick go at it. As we see Andreas Mostachero coming across around the final turn. Let's see where he ends up. From P11. Unable to improve, and he's going to have another go at it to see if he can improve his time. We got I'm Not Jimmy with a 136.162 in P12. Let's see if Jacob Hadberg in the 888 Honda can improve. See if they can take pole position for the second time in a row. As they take provisional pole with a 35.050. The 3 car of Tyler Marlowe comes across the line with a 35.260 up into P2. We've got the 444 car of Shoot coming across the line here in a couple seconds. We'll see where they end up. P5 with a 135.460. The 85 car of Jarek Snyder jumps up to P19 with a 36.782, and Ollie Raza with unable to improve that last lap, having another go at it. Chris McNichol is able to improve as he jumped up to P8 with 135.815. We got Bronson Turner, P21 with a 136.860. 820 of Dalton Oxborough with a 136.685. And the 53 car of Ricardo Rivera starting their second last hot lap of the session. And the 14 car of Andreas Mostachero comes across the line, jumps up to P8 with a 35.752. We got the 69 of I'm Not Jimmy up into P11 with a 35.840. 13 car about to start their hot lap. Gage Gonzalez is Jacob Padberg coming across the line here shortly. Let's see if they're able to improve. Let's see if Tyler Marlowe in P2 is able to improve. Padberg is able to improve by a little bit. Jumps into the 34s. And Marlowe is quickly going to dethrone him with a 34.952. As we see the 747 of Jeremy Engelman from P13 up into P7 with a scorcher of a lap with a 35.692 at the 444 of Case Shoot. Coming across the line for their second last hot lap of the session, as long as they can get through cleanly. Ollie Raza currently sitting P3 with a 135.005, almost dipping into the 34s. Almost the third driver to do so. 37 of Niall Schleter able to improve with the 36.375. Chris McNichol unable to improve last lap, as we've got Bronson Turner also unable to improve. As we got the 820 of Dalton Oxborough up into P18 with a 36.560 able to improve. 53 of Rivera starting another hot lap, their final hot lap of the session. Got to get this one right as the 14 car is about to come across the line. That is Mostachero. And they have one more chance to go at it. Don't think they were able to improve that lap. So Gage Gonzalez currently sitting P8. Let's see if they're able to improve and jump up the ranks, the standings. They're going to jump up one position up into P7 with a 35.667. You got Jacob Padberg in P2 with a 34.985, unable to improve last lap. Tyler Marlowe unable to improve last lap. And Brian Faluna was able to improve last lap with a 135.135, but only up into P4 at the moment. Jeremy Engelman up in P5 with a 135.435. The next one to cross the line that's going to be valid is going to be Niall Schleter. See if they're able to improve, maybe climb a few spots as they're currently sitting P16. And they're able to improve, jump up 2 positions with a 36.130, the 632 car of McNichol, only up into P10. The 81 car of Bronson Turner into 19. You got the 820 of Dalton Oxborough only into 17th. The 53 of Ricardo Rivera comes across the line P5. We got Andreas Mostachero. Going to be coming across the line up in P9th right now, or down in P9th. That's where they're going to finish. As we got Gage Gonzalez, Padberg, Marlowe, and Faluna, all these drivers could have their sights set on pole depending on what kind of a lap these drivers are setting. Gage Gonzalez is going to be the first one across, only up to P5 with a 35.260. Jacob Padberg up into P1 with a 134.870. Let's see if Faluna has anything to say about it, or Marlowe. And Faluna does have something to say about it as they get a 34.620. And Marlowe up to P3. Oh my, a very spicy qualifying session as that pole position got shooken up real hard at the end of that one. Probably like 3 or 4 different pole position changes in those final like 10-15 seconds as we start our max wait time. 2.5 minutes until we get going for our second race here tonight at Indy for our second doubleheader. Second race of the doubleheader, sorry. Looks like tonight is a night race. We got a 45-minute race for you here tonight. Mandatory pit stop. I am unsure if it requires tires or not. It could. So, we'll do a quick grid rundown before we get underway. We got Brian Faluna taking pole position this time around, and alongside him Jacob Padberg. In the second row you got Tyler Marlowe and Ollie Raza. 5th and 6th you got another Honda lockout with Gage Gonzalez and Ricardo Rivera. No, Ollie Raza and Gage Gonzalez, sorry. Ricardo Rivera close. No. How did I get this so wrong? Let's try this again. Brian Faluna takes pole position, and alongside him is Jacob Padberg. In the second row, you got Tyler Marlowe and Ollie Raza. In the third row, you got Gage Gonzalez and Ricardo Rivera in 5th and 6th for a third row Honda lockout. Jeremy Engelman in 7th and Shoot in 8th. In 9th and 10th, you got Andreas Masachero and Chris McNichol rounding out the top 10. You got Kenneth Smith in P11 starting the pole setter for split 2. I'm not Jimmy alongside him in P12. You got TJ Washed in 13th and Niall Schleter in 14th. Ricardo Sapien in 15th. Provolone 16th. Oxborough 17th. Aaron Kuhn in 18th. Bronson Turner in 19th. And you got Rocky Rocco rounding out the top 20, but that's not all. We got Jarek Snyder in 21st. Gelson Cruz in 22nd, Andy Yoke in 23rd, Patrick McNichol in 24th, Bruce Hopkins in 25th, Eric Akasi in 26th, Chronotis 27th, Tomaziak in 28th, Yu in 29th, and Daniel Versosa rounding out the top 30. As we got Sarah Stanton 31st, Guy Smelly in 32nd, and George Elmer in 33rd. So we only have about 10 seconds until we start our second and final formation lap of the evening. This is what George Elmer sees from the back of the grid. Sees all these cars in front of him. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. How are you doing? Is it Bale Macero? Bale Macero? As you can just see the amount of cars in front of George Elmer down this back stretch. There's only a couple turns before we start our final race of the evening, our second race of 2 here tonight at Indianapolis. As we see Brian Faluna leading the charge. And Jacob Hadberg alongside him as they line up 2 by 2. They're coming around the final turn now as we speak. Now they're on the main straight. See all the cars in the distance waiting for the green flag, to set us off for the second race and final race of the evening as we are green. And it looks like Brian Faluna gets a good start. And Padberg looking to try to cut off Marlowe, who looks like Marlowe got a great start as well. Gonna have the inside line. As we have, a huge incident in the back of the pack between, it looks like at least 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 cars. A huge pile up at the beginning of this one. You hate to see it, as Brian Faluna gets a great start. Jacob Padberg able to hold on to P2, but Marlowe was thinking about making a move on the opening turn, as there is more yellow in the background there. As Faluna gets a great start. Building himself a little bit of a gap to Padberg. But not too much. He's not out of the woods yet. As Padberg is quickly taking that gap away. But a great start from these two front runners, Brian Faluna and Jacob Padberg, as it looks like Tyler Marlowe, they still have a bunch of cars behind them. And there is the 5 car of Eric Gukasi, and his yellow flagged down in Sector 3. As it was not as clean as a start as race 1, but that does have to come into play with the darkness of the track, as Indianapolis is not a very well lit track. As we see McNichol and Jimmy going at it in P8 and 9 right now. Jumped further down the field a little bit. A huge moment from Case Shoot as he drops down a couple positions down to P12 and may lose out to Niall Schleter in P13. We'll see who gets the better run. Schleter with a little bit of slipstream, but I don't know if it's going to be enough as he sticks his nose out. He's thinking about it, but he's thinks better of it. As Case actually runs a little wide, and that lets Schleter by, that lets TJ by. In Case, it looks like he is struggling here as he just loses out 2 more positions. Four-way battle between P14 and P17 right now. Two different splits between the 4 of these drivers. You got 2 in split 1 and 2 in split 2, but the 2 in split 1 are separated by 2 cars and a second and a half. But that could quickly be taken away. As we still see Brian Faluna leading this race, followed but closely by Jacob Padberg, and George Elmer in P30 already taking his pit stop, getting involved in that turn 1 incident. As Brian Faluna is your race leader at the moment. Let's see where we got some action going on. Not too much action on the track right now, but we see George Elmer and letting Merlot get by, and looks like Gage Gonzalez trying to get by as well. Raza getting by, Ricardo Rivera getting... See how many of these drivers Elmer let go by, and Elmer's going to let quite a few of them go by, but he's going to need to make the apex himself at one point, as he's going to let Engelman by as well. A bunch of these drivers get past the back marker of Elmer, no problem. As you see Jimmy being hunted down by Andreas Mostachero now. See who can get the better run. Mostachero's going to have the help of Slipstream. Put the Porsche top speed, and that might not give him enough. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough, and it looks like Jimmy is going to stay ahead by couple tenths, about half a second. As it looks like Dalton Oxboro's gonna take the inside line on Aaron Kuhn, jumping up to P15. These three drivers for Stooch Racing McLaren, P15, 16, and 17th at the moment. Mostachero built himself, looks like 2 tenths so far between himself and Jimmy. Battle could be brewing up in the next couple of laps, as we see Versosa and Patrick McNichol going at it in P21 and 22 right now. McNichol's going to go for the inside line, and he takes it. And he's going to easily get by Versosa. See if Versosa has an answer. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. But Kevin Yu and Professor Chronotis going at it down in P19 and 20. Oh, and a big spin from Kevin Yu. That's going to put him off track, and he's going to lose out a couple positions from that. As we have Dalton Oxboro under fire from Sarah Stant right now. Stant trying to close the gap, and it looks like that gap just closed by another 2 tenths. With that 2 tenths quickly thrown away. Looks like the fastest Stooch is Aaron Kuhn right now, but Bronson Turner is not going to let him have that title for free. As we see Provolone and Washed thinking about making a move, but he thinks better of it. Didn't get quite the run that he needed. As we got Jason Provolone still holding on to the final position, final top 10 position. But TJ Washed is going to want that position. He's not going to give it to him for free without a fight. See, Washed might have a good run here. 2 Porsches, one is a slipstream, and Provolon's forced to take the defensive line. Washed trying for the switchback. It's not quite going to take it, but Provolone looks a little unsteady going through the turn, maybe clipping a little too much curb, but he's going to be able to hold on to position for now. But Stooch still, or not Stooch, sorry, Washed still on his rear wing. This Mike Burkhoff has got me thinking about who's the fastest Stooch McLaren. Provolone built himself a little bit of a gap, but while these two have been fighting, now Schlieder has dipped his toe into the mix. That's 3 Porsches in a row. Soon it's going to be a 3-way battle for the top 10, or the final top 10 position. Nemesis Whip 1, how are you doing tonight? Hope all is well, as Provolone and Washed still going at it with Schlieder in the distance. The close distance, that is, only just over a second behind Washed. And indeed, the cheese man is holding on. Yeah, Jason Provolone's Porsche looking pretty slick, and if I do say so, it reminds me of Patrick Star off SpongeBob. I don't know if that's what he was going for, but that's what it reminds me of. You got like the pink and the green for his shorts and his body, and yeah. As Schlieder has dropped back a little bit from those two, as we'll see if there's any other close battles going on. It looks like you and Versosa and Oak starting to spice up a little bit, while you is also might get dragged into this mix if Versosa can keep his pace up. But it doesn't look like it, as Andy Oak is right on the rear wing of that Mercedes. And it looks like Oak's going to have the inside. Oh, and there is a car facing backwards. That is a 343 of Tomazic. And it looks like he hit that hard. That could have been torrential for some of these drivers, because you're not expecting a car to be going down the wrong way. Going down that main straight. Luckily nobody gets collected there, as Provolone and Washed still going at it. That would be rough going 0-6. As it looks like Washed might try for the outside, but thinks doesn't quite have the run. See if he can get a better run going down the main straight. Provolone and Wash setting almost identical lap times. He's not going to quite get the run needed to make a move into turn 1. As Jacob Padberg is now leading the race. During all that action towards the beginning of the race, Jacob Padberg took the lead away from Brian Faluna. Faluna was your pole setter here, second race of the evening. Yeah, and he must have like caught the grass or like the curb or something and just spun. Because he was facing the wrong way. And the 263 car returned to the pit as they got yellow on that final turn, and looks like they may call it as we got Raza and Rivera going at it. Eric Kakassian running a little deep into that turn. I think that looks like it slowed down Rivera by quite a bit. As we see Andreas Mostachero and I'm Not Jimmy in P8 and P9. Their battle's brewing up here shortly as we got George Elmer running a little bit wide. But keeping it forward and getting out of the way of the front runners. As we got Daniel Versosa being hunted down by Bruce Hopkins. Now Bruce Hopkins does have a 10-second penalty. So Versosa doesn't need to worry too much, as if Hopkins gets by, then he still needs to build himself a 10-second gap. As it looks like the front runners might run into a bit of traffic here, but that's Gage Gonzalez. Gage Gonzalez has some pretty quick pace most of the time. We'll see if that is the case this race, as they pitted early. As we see Provolone still under fire from Washed. Provolone just can't shake him, and Wash just can't get a run good enough to make the move happen. But he has built himself, he has closed the gap by quite a bit. As we have MRT Fortune, thanks for the follow. How are you doing tonight? As this has been the battle of the race so far between Provolone and Washed for the final top 10 position. Washed thinking about making a move, but no, just making his presence known. And looks like someone may have pitted as these two jumped up to P9 and P10. As we got I'm Not Jimmy, I believe has gotten by Andreas Mostachero. And Mostachero still trying to fight back, get that position back. Right on the rear wing. The top speed of that Porsche definitely not getting a hand going down this straight. Let's see what else we got on track. We got Oxborough and Aaron Kuhn, the Stoots Racing McLarens. They're still going at it. Bronson Turner has built himself a little bit of a gap, so it looks like he is making himself the quickest Stooch. That's Provolone, built himself a little bit of a gap this lap. Almost a second, as the 633 car in Sector 2 is yellow flagged at the moment. As a 633 of Patrick McNichol of the Scrubs Go Racing 633 Porsche. And, you know, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear that. Hopefully, yeah. You sleep well as Patrick McNichol takes a dive into the pit lane as the 226 of Guy Smelly was yellow flagged slightly. And Buffalo Wings are pretty good. Mike Burkhoff. Eric Kakassian currently P29, being hunted down by Engelman. Engelman currently P6. As we got Jimmy and Mostachero still going at it. up in P7th and 8th. As it looks like Mostachero dives into the pit lane. Maybe try for the undercuts. No, I don't think. No, was that Mostachero? Yeah, it must have been. As Provolone and Washed still going at it. I believe that is a close battle on track at the moment. As Jacob Hadberg leads, followed by Brian Faluna and Tyler Merlot in P3, but decent gap between those two drivers. Ooh, a little bit of a slide there from Provolone. See if that opens the door up for Washed. Does close the gap on that straight, but not enough. Provolone has got to be feeling the pressure from TJ behind him. As we just reached the halfway point of this race. Still a lot of these drivers needing to pit. A lot of the drivers have pit. As Washed, looks like he might try to make the move, and he's on the inside. Not quite, as Provolone holds on to the position. Looks like he might have squeezed him out there, but I don't know, as Washed might try to make a move on the inside again. Well, Provolone's getting a little slidey. He might be feeling the pressure from Washed. Bumper to bumper between these two still. Ooh, and a 30-second stop go for the 23 car for speeding in the pit lane, and a little bit of oversteer from Provolone, and that's going to open the door up for Washed, but Provolone's got the inside line. And Provolone still holding on, but he is holding on by a thread. He is definitely feeling the pressure. I wouldn't be surprised if he dives into the pit lane here shortly. As he does, and that's going to open up the track for TJ Washed. See which is better, the undercut or the overcut. We'll just have to wait and see. As it looks like Provolone was struggling towards the end of that lap, end of that stint. As we got Kevin Yu and Bruce Hopkins for P14 and 15 going at it. And the Lakers retired George Mekon. I don't know if you talked to Mike about this stuff, but Mike is not here tonight, or if you talk to Eric. I am not a huge basketball fan, so I don't know who any of those are. As Kevin Yu hops into the pits and Bruce Hopkins follows. As Tyler Merlot leading now, as it looks like Faluna and Padberg have pitted. You make a mean Memphis honey habanero wing with smoked salmon and shrimp seafood soup. That sounds amazing. Gotcha. So they retired his number. I at least know what that is. As the battle for P9 and P10 right now between Raza and Rivera starting to get a little close. We had a little bit of downtime there. Yeah, no kidding. Dude, where's the party invite? That's Rivera closing the gap. And Rivera is all over the back of Ollie Raza. We'll see if he can force Raza to make a mistake, or if he can just get a good enough run to get by himself. Thinks about it, sticks his nose out, but quickly goes back. Doesn't get quite the run, just letting Raza know that he is there. Trying to get in the head of Ollie Raza. Killer Beach, thanks for the follow, or the raid, sorry. How are you doing tonight? How did the stream go? How's Rivera still going at Raza? There is no breathing between these two at the moment. Let's see if there's any other battles on track. Not quite. Chronotis is getting hunted down by Marlowe, but Chronotis yet to pit. Jeremy Engelman, the race leader, is pitting. Gonna drop back a little bit. Not quite anybody else battling, just Raza and Rivera at battling right now. Some drifting. What did you do that in? Like AC or some other game? I'm not too familiar with drift games. Drift sims. But I'm glad to hear it went well. AC2 console edition release same time as PC, but it won't. Yeah, unfortunately I think it'll probably come to PC at least a couple couple months, maybe even a year before. Because you guys are real behind in the console department. Like, you guys just got 1.8 not too long ago, right? And also, you're not going to have the mod capability, because I'm assuming AC2 is going to have mod accessibility just like the other one, just like AC. Looks like there's a yellow flag for the 95 car over in Sector 2. Battle between Rivera and Raza still going on, as it has been for the past couple of laps. About half a second between them. Good night, Killer Beach. Have a good night. Hope you sleep well. Let's see if that is a battle for P1 right now, and it is not. That is Marlowe and McNichol. And Padberg actually in there as well. So the battle for P1 right now is on between Marlowe and Padberg. Chronotis about 4.5 seconds behind, but has still yet to pit. And Raza about 10.5 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Queen of Quetch. I hope you can bounce back next week. But you were having you're having a pretty good race earlier on. But I'm sorry to hear how it ended. Yeah, I kind of figured as much. I think I've seen your stream in like the was it the 949 Discord? I don't know. But anyways, I am sorry to hear how it ended, and hopefully you can bounce back next week, as Tyler Marlowe and Jacob Padberg still going at it, and they're about to run into some traffic of... Is that Brian Faluna? Wonder what happened to him. He's in P22 and he's about to get lapped. But Padberg and Marlowe still going at it. 10 minutes to go. This could be a very spicy finish. Will Padberg get the double whammy, or will Marlowe take one tonight? Let's see, it looks like Padberg might have a good run. Oh, he thinks about the inside, but he quickly backs off. But no, he's actually ahead. He actually got ahead there. What a move from Padberg. And Marlowe trying to challenge him straight back. But Padberg with a huge move on Marlowe. And that gives Padberg the lead. Let's see if he can escape Marlowe, or is Marlowe going to be able to hold on and give him a run for his money, maybe even get the position back. As Mike Burkhoff, I would just like to point out, Mike Burkhoff said, "Congrats to Marlowe for the W," with over 8.5 minutes to go. So if you have anyone to blame, it's him. He jinxed him. He took the win away from him. But there's still 8 minutes left to go. Anything could happen. But Burkhoff could have cursed Marlowe here. But it looks like Padberry's almost built himself a little bit of a gap. He's built himself just over a second gap now. So Marlowe isn't even in the slipstream anymore. It looks like Padberg might be keen to run away with this thing. Jacob Padberg, Studio 201 Racing, Honda. Currently leading this race, just under 7 minutes to go, sorry. As we got Jarek Snyder being hunted down by Bruce Hopkins. Let's see, with only 6 minutes to go, is Bruce Hopkins going to be able to get by Snyder, or is Snyder going to be able to hold on? As the Ferrari of Jeremy Engelman is getting between these two. As we have Mr. J Goose Gaming. How are you doing tonight, my friend? I watched some of it, but how did the mini enduro go yesterday? Hate how I had to miss it. Oh, and you signed up for a 24-hour race. Who are you racing with? And Patty will finish third. As we got Jimmy and McNichol and Mostachero for P8, P9, and P10. Less than 5 minutes to go. Couple battles on track at the moment. Right now we're focusing in on the battle between I'm Not Jimmy, Chris McNichol, and Andreas Masachero, this train of 3 drivers. All fighting for position, all fighting in split 1. Kevin Blanchette, Thomas Glebes, David Lopez, and yourself. Very nice. I only know who Blanchette is. I don't know who the other 2 are. Also, just a quick shout out to J Goose Gaming. If you wanna give him a follow, he does some ACC, but he's also been hosting the Vulcan Mini Endurance Series on his channel. Saturday mornings, early afternoons. Yeah, so the Vulcan sim racing community, Vulcan Bachert sim racing community has their mini endurance series. We're about 3 rounds in now, and yeah, it's been a good fun. They're about 3 to 4.5 hours long, depending on the race. And yeah, if you think you'd be interested in watching some mini enduro races on the weekends, on your Saturday afternoons or Saturday mornings or Saturday evenings, depending on where in the world you're from, follow Mr. J Goose Gaming, because yeah, he hosts them and he's been doing a great job. As now we're going back into the race, less than 2 minutes to go. Jimmy, McNichol, and Masachero still going at it. As we'll see if there's any other battles on track. We got Niall Schlieder and Washed, as it looks like Provolone has actually pulled himself a little bit of a gap between these 2 after the pit stop. We've got Shoot and Smith getting pretty close to one another. Still a little bit of a gap between the lead and P2. We got Professor Chronotis and Andy Oak in P20 and 21. Ali Raza has built himself a little bit of a gap, 1.8 seconds to Ricardo Rivera behind. Yeah, right now we'll keep our sights set on this battle, especially now that they're approaching traffic. And was there a little bit of a moment in the back there? Ooh, and a switchback maybe by McNichol. Chris McNichol has the inside line. And it looks like he's going to get the spot from Masachero as the leader, Jacob Padberg, starts the final lap of the race. Chris McNichol takes 8th place and now has his sights set on Jimmy, but he also has to defend from Masachero, and this might give Jimmy the guy, might allow him to build himself a gap. As we'll see if Masachero might try to challenge McNichol, get that position back. McNichol trying to break the slipstream a little bit, and just gonna hold on for now as we'll jump on board with Jacob Padberg. Currently has a 6.5 second gap to Tyler Marlowe as he comes around the 3rd last turn. No, 4th last. Now the 3rd last, only 2 turns to go as there's contact in T1. As that's his last braking point, he doesn't even need to touch the brakes again. as he is going to cross the line in P1 with commanding fashion, taking both the wins here tonight. Brian Faluna on P19. You're going to have Professor Kenotis in 20, Andy Yoke in 21st. Tyler Monlow is going to come across the line in P2, and Ollie Raza in P3. Great race from himself, and also a great race from Ricardo Rivera in P4. Kassian in 28th, Versosa in 22nd. You're going to have Gage Gonzalez. Looks like he's going to come across the line in P5. Engelman in 6th. McNichol in 23rd, and Jimmy in 7th. But McNichol still under fire from Andreas Mostachero in 8th and 9th. Doesn't look like he's going to get the run on Jimmy, and it doesn't look like Mostachero's going to get the run on him. So it's going to be Jimmy in 7th, McNichol in 8th, and Mostachero in 9th. A close race from these guys. As we have Jason Provolone. He's going to be coming across the line, taking the final top 10 spot in P10. As you're going to have Case Shoot, it looks like in P11, followed closely by Kenneth Smith, just a second behind. P12, you're going to have TJ Washington 13th. Bronson Turner, it looks like it's going to be 14th. Dalton Oxborough on 15th. Kevin Yu is going to come across the line 25th. Aaron Kuhn in 16th. Guy Smelly in 25th, and George Elmer is going to finish off the race, going to finish off the evening here. Coming across the line, P16th, a great race from him. Pretty consistent race from him. And there you have it. That is your race. Your double header here at Indy. We will save the replay. We'll take a quick screenshot. And yeah, that's around.
Mr. Aldred.
Hey, Eric.
Would you like me to bring some winners?
Sure.
Hey guys.
Hey, Eric.
Well, Reid, I'll let you take the lead here.
Alright, congratulations, guys. That's, I believe that's both race wins for you here tonight, Mr. Padberg. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you. It's, I think, first race win in GT3, I think, actually.
Oh, big congratulations there. Very nice.
Really happy.
Were you practicing hard for this one, I'm assuming, or, you know?
I think I started practicing on, like, Tuesday. So, I would just go in every day, like, just for, like, 30 minutes. So, turns out it paid off, so I'm just really happy.
Yeah, it looks like it did. And, 4 Hondas in the top 5. It seems like that might be a pretty strong car here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's probably a little too good. But it is unfortunate that Faludin got a drive-through. That would have been an interesting race if he hadn't.
Yeah, I saw towards the back half that he was sitting like P19, wondering what happened there.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I think he sped in the pit lane. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, Brian accidentally spent double press his pit button, so.
Oh. That sucks.
Alright, we got Mr. Ollie Raza. Congratulations on P3 in race number 2.
Yeah, thank you. It was really intense night race. Rivera, Gonzalez were always on me the whole time. There was no breathing room at all. But managed to pull through in the end. Much better than the first race though. First race, I think me and Marlowe got into an incident, and then I sped in the pit lane, so that was just a wash. But the second race was pretty good for me.
Yeah, you definitely bounced back in that second one and kept your cool against, especially against Rivera towards the second half of that race where he was all over you.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Sweating.
And with the unfortunate first race, you obviously haven't had time to look back at it yet, but what do you think happened? Do you think just unfortunate, or?
Oh, I think Marlo was ahead of me. He kind of went wide on the exit, one of the corners, and I think his wheels spun out in the grass. I was alongside him, and then he kind of oversteered into me. So, I don't know. It's kind of like not really his fault, but it's also I don't know. It's a tough thing to call, but in the end, we both got taken out.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to take a look back at that one, see what really happened, and go from there. And yeah, I guess since it's a pretty quiet interview booth, how were the races for you tonight, Eric?
Not so great. I apologize. I did make a mistake at lap 1, despite telling everybody else not to make a mistake in lap 1, and I think I might have ruined a couple of people's races. So, most sincere apologies there, and I'll look through it and report myself on those ones. But looks like guys up front were having an intense battle, which is really fun to see.
Yeah, it was difficult to overtake Marlo for first at the end of the race, but he made a mistake and he just capitalized. So tonight was a lot of fun, and I didn't expect it to be, considering this is arguably the worst track in the game.
With that, Padberg, congratulations for your first GT3 win. You did a great job. That
Thank you.
practice paid off, and equally importantly, Reid, thank you so much for stepping in. Our regular streamer, Mike Noss, just had some prior obligations that sudden obligations that came up and couldn't stream tonight, but glad to have you in the booth.
No problem. I just gotta say one thing to Padberg. You gotta thank Mike Burkoff for your win, because he said you will not win the second race, and no sooner did he say that in chat, you passed Marlo.
Commentators, chatter's curse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he was kind of slow. I don't think he pitted for tires, so that's why I knew that I would probably get him. But it was just a matter of time.
For sure, as you did make the move happen, and yeah, ended up winning the race from it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good job, Padberg.
Thank you.
Well, Reid, I do have a raid set up for when you're ready, so if you'd like to close off the stream, I can send it over.
Alright. Thanks everybody for tuning in for the doubleheader here at Indy Round 5. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties towards the beginning, but seems like they panned out. And it looks like we're going to send you to I Suck at This. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next week, which I have no clue where we'll be. So
I don't either, but we'll be back tomorrow for the rookie races, and then Thursday, and then next week again.
yeah,
All right.
hope everyone has a good night and have a safe and happy Halloween, as that is tomorrow.